Hello and welcome to the Orthodox View, where we discuss latest religious news from an Orthodox Christian perspective. I am its host, Philip Champion. Defend the Cyrillic alphabet. In Serbia, a law has been adopted for the protection and preservation of the traditional written language. It obliges the state-run enterprises and mass media to use only the Cyrillic alphabet. After the disintegration of Yugoslavia, the Latin alphabet in Serbia has actually replaced the Cyrillic written language in mass media and business correspondence. The state authorities are confident that the law will speed up the restitution of the traditional alphabet. Let us recall that the authorities in Ukraine are considering the rejection of the Cyrillic alphabet in favor of the Latin one. This has aroused a negative reaction of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. A crisis in Orthodoxy as a result of authoritative ambitions. The chairman of the Moscow Patriarchate's Department for External Church Relations, Metropolitan Hilarion of Volokholamsk, stated that the crisis of Orthodoxy is based on Patriarch Bartholomew's attempt to assert his sole power. At the conference called World Orthodoxy, Primacy and Conciliarity in Light of the Orthodox Teaching, Metropolitan Hilarion noted that those who recognize the so-called Orthodox Church of Ukraine are thus supporting the unlimited power of Constantinople. I quote, "Patriarch Bartholomew, without any negotiations with other churches, has interfered in the schism in Ukraine and provoked unprecedented persecutions against the only canonical church of the country. All those who recognize the legalization of the Ukrainian schism and the OCU are thus automatically recognizing that the power of the Patriarch of Constantinople is not limited by anything or anybody." Metropolitan Nikiforos of Kikos in Teleria spoke at the conference expressing the same attitude. He stressed that for the 2,000 years of its history, the Orthodox Church has not invested any bishop with the title and powers of the head of the Church. Metropolitan Nikiforos emphasized that Orthodoxy recognizes only one head of the Church, and that is Jesus Christ. The same point of view was expressed by Serbian Bishop Irinei of Bachka. He pointed out that the autocephaly of the OCU inflicts damage on Orthodoxy and is a tool and method for destroying the unity of the Church. I am ready to bend the knee to God alone. This statement was made by the chief coach of the Zenit football team, Sergei Simak. The beginning of the Champions League match between Chelsea and Zenit was preceded by the traditional demonstration of support for the Black Lives Matter movement. The knee was bent by all the players of the London club and 6 Zenit footballers. The Russian football players and 1 Ukrainian player refused to bend the knee. Sergei Simak later noted that to participate in this action is a personal choice of each person, but he himself would only bend the knee before God alone. An Orthodox choir for Lebanon. The choir of the Sretinsky Monastery had performed at the church compound of Old Baalbek in Lebanon, the cultural platform for the whole Middle East. It is the first concert to be given to listeners here for the last 2 years. The day before, singers performed in Damascus as part of the cultural program of exchange between Syria and Russia. The Orthodox Church of Antioch took an active part in organizing the performances of Orthodox artists. The Bible is one of the oldest and reliable historical sources. Scholars continue to demonstrate the historical value of the Bible. There may no longer be any doubt that the biblical miracles are not a fiction, but real events of the past. Thus, recently in Jordan, people observed an unusual natural phenomenon. The waters of the Dead Sea turned red. According to scientists, the color of the sea was altered by brown algae. They are found not only in Palestine, but also in the Nile, in Egypt. In this connection, researchers believe that biblical story about the plagues of Egypt is based on real events. It is known from the Bible that God inflicted the disasters because the Pharaoh did not wish to let the Jews go free. The Nile waters turned to blood, to be followed by the plague of frogs, gnat, flies, and the pestilence of livestock. The bodies of Egyptians were covered with boils. Then hail, fire, and locusts were brought down on the country, to be followed by thick darkness. German biologists and climatologists agree that in the 13th century before Christ, Egypt encountered a sharp climate change. After a severe drought, the Nile became shallow, the flow slowed down, and those brown algae spread to give the river the color of blood. In the disturbed ecosystem, frogs, gnats, and flies multiplied and spread infections. As a result, the death rate increased. The rain of fire and the Egyptian darkness may be consequences of a major volcano eruption when clouds of ash covered the sky and fell on the earth. According to scientists, it led to serious weather anomalies such as increased humidity, frequent precipitations, and mass migration of locusts. Indeed, lying to the northwest of Egypt is Santorini Archipelago, where an active volcano once used to be. About 3,500 years ago, it woke up, with its power being similar to 200 atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima. The cataclysm was fatal for the Cretan and Mycenaean civilizations. It also weakened the Hittite kingdom, thus reshaping the political map of the Middle East. For a long time, the miracle associated with Moses remained an enigma as well. His escape with Jews from Egypt is described in the biblical book of Exodus, when the flood stood upright as a heap, and the people walked through on the bottom. The scholars at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in the USA and the University of Colorado supposed the following. The reference in the sacred text is made not to the Red Sea, as is commonly believed, but to Lake Manzala in the eastern part of the Nile Delta. It can really split up into two parts, and the name of this water artery in Hebrew means Red Sea. As experts explain, I quote, "The parting of the waters can be understood through fluid dynamics. The wind moves the water in a way that's in accordance with physical laws, creating a safe passage with water on two sides, and then abruptly allowing the water to rush back in." A detailed deciphering of these and other real miracles of the past can be found on the Russian news agency website RIA Novosti. And if you're interested in the primary source, read the Bible. This is all for now. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time on the Orthodox View.